Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you my smoke alarm and smoke detector collection. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright everyone, so here is the collection. Now I'm going to be going through each device individually. I'm going to be explaining what it does, if it's smoke carbon monoxide, just a smoke alarm, or different features the device has. I will also be showing the model numbers. Now, with that being said, I'm going to start with the Kidde Nighthawk up towards the left, and I'm going to work my way down. I'm going to do all of the smoke alarms first, and then I'm going to make my way down to the smoke detectors. Alright, so starting at our first device today, we have a Kidde Nighthawk carbon monoxide detector. Now, this is obviously one that you plug into the wall. This one actually has a cord on it, so you plug this one into the wall. It has two buttons on it. It has a test and a reset and a memory button. If you hit memory, it'll tell you obviously there's nothing. We'll flip to the back. You can tell, here's the model number 9000046, and that looks like a B1. It's kind of hard to tell. Date of manufacture is 11/09/95, so this is pretty old, and the voltage is 110 volts. There's also some other information, and if you want to mount this to the wall, here's like a little screw. This would come with a screw. Unfortunately, I no longer have that anymore, fortunately, but I no longer even have this detector in service because, again, smoke alarms and carbon monoxide alarms need to be replaced every 10 years, and obviously this would have gone bad in 2005, so obviously it's no longer in service. Now I'm going to go ahead and give it a quick test. So to do that, you're just going to hit the button. And that is what you do to test this particular detector. And that's it. Alright, for our next device here, we have a Kidde smoke alarm. So this is a hardwired and battery backup. So the main source of power for this detector, or alarm I should say, is 120 volts AC. So we take off the back. I do not have it actually wired up to 120 volts. So take a look at the back. Obviously this is our interconnect, and then we have a hot and a neutral wire. And this would obviously connect to your hard wiring in your house. The model is P12040. This is where the battery backup is, right here. So I'll open this up, you can see the battery. And yeah, this is pretty cool. Now, when this thing is regularly installed, obviously this light would be green to indicate that there's AC power coming in. We're going to go ahead and give this alarm a quick test by just hitting the button. And yeah, that's that. Alright, so moving on to our next device is a First Alert smoke alarm. So obviously you can tell this one is a little different. This one actually has an escape light, which is pretty cool. So if there's a fire, it's late at night, there's no lights on, you could tell. It gives you some light to get out. This one is only battery operated. So I'll take off the back. The model number is SA320, and it was manufactured on September 24th of 2018. I no longer have this one in service. Most of these smoke alarms you will see today, I no longer am using. I just have them as collection pieces. And to put the battery in, here's the battery door on the top of the detector. And obviously you just put this back on the base. Like I said, it's only battery operated. We're going to go ahead and give this smoke alarm a quick test. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the button. And obviously you can tell the light comes on, and you will be able to escape, and you will see the light, which is important. All right, moving on to our next smoke alarm. This is another Kidde hardwired smoke alarm. Again, I do not have AC power connected because, again, I'm just showing you what I have in the collection. So obviously you have your power light, and obviously now that's not on because I'm just using battery backup. The battery door is right in here, just takes one 9-volt battery, and this, like I said, would be illuminated green. If we take off the back, unfortunately it's missing the wiring harness. I have everything to it, I just don't have it with it right now. If we take a look, the model is I4618AC. That's the model number, and it was manufactured on January 20th of 2020. So this is pretty cool. It's also a FireX model, or the FireX series of detectors, alarms, so on and so forth. We're going to go ahead and give this one a quick test by just hitting the buttons. Here we go. And there we go. All right, for our next device, we have another Kidde carbon monoxide alarm. So this one is just like the other one. I believe this one is a little newer. Obviously, you have your test reset button, and then you have your peak level button. And this is your indicator to tell you if there is any carbon monoxide. It'll also tell you different levels and different things right here. This is obviously your horn. Turn to the back. I don't have it plugged in right now. Again, I'm just running it off of 9-volt battery for right now. If we turn this around, the model number, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. It's going to be Kidde CO EG3. Okay, and this was manufactured in 2008 on December 5th. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to give this detector, or alarm, I should say, a quick test. So I'm just going to hit the button, and we're going to go ahead and give this detector, or alarm, I should say, a test. And obviously you'll tell that it says gas, just covering it because it's very, very loud. So, and it's just in its testing mode. And there we go. All right, for our next smoke alarm, this is, I believe it is a FireX, or Kidde, I should say, smoke alarm. This one runs off of 120 volts AC. This model actually does not have battery backup. It's only with power, so obviously if the power goes out, you won't have any more alarm, unfortunately. I'm going to try and scroll in. The model is G6, and it's made by FireX, so I can't really do much with this other than display it. I believe I hooked it up at one point. I'll have to see if I might be able to find the video of it, and if I can, I will play that real quick. But yeah, that's just pretty much this one. All right, for our next device, we have another Kidde hardwired smoke alarm. This one also does have battery backup. So again, this would be green, indicating there's AC power. There's your horn, there's your test button. This is where you have battery backup. And in this case, I'm using battery backup. I'm not using the wiring because it's just for a quick demonstration. We're just showing you guys what I have. This is a Kidde FireX I4618AC model. And this was manufactured on October 6th of 2023. So, and this is your wiring harness, again, hot, neutral, and you're interconnected. It is a requirement now to interconnect your smoke alarms. It depends on your area, but in my area, I know in particular that's important. You're required to do that now. So just, I guess it really depends on your area. Certain areas will have different rules and regulations. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a quick test. I'm just going to hit the button. All right, and it's working. All right, so the next device we have here is a First Alert smoke alarm. This is a photoelectric one and ionization. Fortunately, this one does not work, but here's the test and the reset button. Here's the horn. I'll take it off its mounting plate. Take a look at it. The model number is SA320, and it was manufactured on January 15th of 2021. It's quite unfortunate this one does not work anymore. It's actually one of my favorites, but it was taken out of service at one point. I forget the reason, but I do know that I did take it out of service because it was either not working or it was having issues with alarming and stuff. So, yep, that's what I have for this one. All right, for our next device here, we have a Kidde smoke and carbon monoxide alarm here. This one is just batteries. So obviously here is the push to test button and reset. I'll take the mounting plate off. It is powered by 2 AAA batteries. And as you can tell, there's the model number. It's KN-COSM-B. And I'm trying to look for the date that this one was manufactured. There it is, 2012 of April 18th. So still pretty cool. This one actually is voice, so it will actually tell you to leave the building, to exit, which I mean, so yeah.
Fire. Warning, carbon monoxide.
And this one is pretty cool, so I really like this one. Alright, so the next device we have here, this is another smoke and carbon monoxide alarm by Kidde. This one is also voice, so it's going to say the same thing that the other one said, fire, fire. Here's the push to test button, and here are the batteries. Just takes 2 AAA batteries. The other one actually took 3, which is pretty interesting. The model of this one is COSM XTR-BA, and so this is pretty interesting. And the date that this one was manufactured was August 22nd of 2020. So we're going to go ahead and give this one a test. So I'm just going to hit the button.
Fire. Warning, carbon monoxide.
Alright, so the last alarm I have to test here today is this Kidde smoke alarm. It's very small. It really reminds me of the Kidde i9040. So obviously you have the hush button, the test button. There's your little horn. I'm going to take to the back. It just takes one 9-volt battery, so it's not AC powered. This one is photoelectric, and the model is P9040. I believe this one did have the date on it at one point, but looks like it got scratched out. So unfortunately, that's not on there anymore. I did install this in 18. That's why you obviously can see this right here, but I did end up taking it down. I forget the reason why, but for those who don't know, I did used to have a pretty good smoke alarm collection, and before I did fire alarms, I actually did collect smoke alarms, so that's why I have so many of these. Obviously now I'm collecting a lot more of commercial fire alarms. So, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a test. So I'm just going to put the mounting bracket back on, and we're going to give this a quick test. So, alright, and there we go. Alright, so for this next part, I'm not going to be able to test any of these because these are commercial smoke detectors. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be having some links down in the video description of each detector's model, and with the link you'll be able to see the detector being tested. Now, some of these detectors are a little different, like this one has a heating and a smoke element. The model of this one is System Sensor 2400TH because it has a thermal, and then 2400 for the smoke detector. If we move over, we have a Siemens DT11 heat detector. This is a rate of rise heat detector. If we move over here, we have a System Sensor 2100S right here. That's also a smoke detector. Over here we have a System Sensor 4WB smoke detector. And over here we have a System Sensor 2400. Now the only difference between the 2400TH and the 2400 is that this one is just a smoke detector. It does not have the thermal element. If we move down, we have a Hitachi SLG24F smoke detector. Now this one is missing its base, and the reason it's missing its base is because the base is installed on one of the demo systems right now, so that's why you're not seeing that. And this is a Simplex True Alarm smoke detector. I do not exactly remember the model. I know it's 4098 something, but I will have that in the video description. If we move over here, we have a System Sensor 5601-P. This is a rate of rise heat detector. And if we move to our final smoke detector, this is a System Sensor 2WB smoke detector. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day. And I will see you in the next video.